last episode, we began exploring the Balkans, with a stop in Slovenia and a boat charter in Croatia. In this episode, we go further into a very different side of Europe than we will see for the rest of the trip. We explore the coast of Montenegro and the old town of Kotor, then we head into Albania and see some of the strangest sights of our journey. You gotta eat one. I'm gonna eat one too.
This actually looks like a tiny Granny Smith apple.
I got no do that.
Whoop. Nope, not ripe. Oh wow, that's bitter. Wow.
That's. Don't do that. Don't do that. About to make all of our Game of Thrones fantasies come true as we explore Old Town Dubrovnik. Our first stop was the old city of Dubrovnik. We found the old city. And it's a tourist mob scene. I guess that's to be expected, though. Popular now for its prominence in Game of Thrones, Dubrovnik has long been a destination for tourists due to its famous walled old city and the architecture within. It was a lovely but quick stop in Dubrovnik. Now we're off to Montenegro. Is that right? One of our Facebook followers gave us a tip that if we wanted to see another impressive old city and fortification, we really should head to Montenegro and the old town of Kotor. So that's where we head next. Okay, I'm hiding a little bit because I don't think that the Montenegro border control people would appreciate me filming. We have just crossed over Croatia and into Montenegro, but in order to actually enter the country, we need insurance. The insurance policy that we bought apparently covers most of the EU, but not all of these countries over here. So Will has to now go. Conveniently located next door is a place to buy insurance for the motorbike. I think it's going to cost about 10 euros. And then we'll be able to get our passports back and continue on our way. I think we're going to actually have this same issue when we cross into Albania, too, in a couple of days. Here comes Will. How much was our insurance permit?
10 euro? Yeah, not bad. As far as like being a captive audience at the border and having to buy insurance on the spot, could be a lot worse.
Yeah. Well, how'd you like that drive?
That's beautiful. Considering that we didn't even know that this country existed until fairly recently, I'm impressed. I'm a local.
You are a local. Where are we? Where are we going?
We are in the UNESCO World Heritage Site of Kotor, Montenegro. And we are going to go to the walled city and up to the fort on top of the mountain.
Oh my god. Wasn't pretty, but we made it. We're at the top and are rewarded with some pretty awesome views. A few days later, we left Montenegro and headed down the coast into Albania.
Albania. This is an interesting place that I have not quite wrapped my head around in the 24 hours we've been here. So Montenegro isn't exactly flush with cash, but the moment you cross the border into Albania, it's different. There's suddenly horse carts drawing around, people on these little like tricycle grain hauler things, and I think we need to give a little bit of background of the little bit we know of Albania. So until 1990-ish, Albania was communist, and then Yugoslavia fell apart and there were wars sort of ravaging the Balkans, and communism fell apart. And now, since kind of the late 90s, Albania has been more or less at peace and in the nascence of a capitalist economy, and it's like they haven't quite figured it out yet. I'll call it the Borat's neighbor effect. If you remember in the movie Borat, he's really annoyed because every time he installs sort of a basic home goods item, whether it be a window or a chair in his house, his neighbor does it too. And that irritates him. And it's like they're copying each other. And you see that here where with the gas stations, like somebody clearly put up a gas station. And then his neighbor decided to build a gas station right next to his gas station. So the first guy decides, okay, well, screw my neighbor, I'm going to put in a restaurant. So he puts in a restaurant, and then the neighbor puts in a restaurant. And this is happening 50 meters from each other. So first guy, again, gets angry and decides to build a hotel onto his gas station. Now he's got this like 3-story, beautiful building, brand new hotel. Nobody around, but builds the hotel. His neighbor goes ahead and builds a hotel on his. So now you've got these 2 gas stations in the middle of nowhere, 50 meters apart. Nobody's there. There's no cars coming to stop for fuel, but they've got a gas station, a restaurant, and a 3-story hotel. And this multiplies out. It's not just 2. There's like 20 in a 5-mile stretch in the middle of nowhere. Nobody in sight actually coming to the businesses, but they're going to build them anyway. No.
No gas?
Thank you. Okay, thank you.
No gas?
No gas. So it's really bizarre driving through this place where in a lot of areas there's like clearly no money or even really that many people, and there's all these businesses that probably took quite a lot of capital, and where that money came from, I have no idea. Is there some sort of gray market or black market going on that's bringing in cash in somewhat illicit manners and pumping that into real estate investment? I don't know. I'm speculating. I have no idea. But it's bizarre. It's a really, really strange place. I don't know enough about the history. I really shouldn't speculate.
Our first night in Albania, we stayed in Durrës, a seaside town. Now I'm checking in to our hotel. We finally found it. It was cheap, and judging by the standards of everything else around, I'm a little worried. We found a pretty well-reviewed hotel right on the beach that would only cost us about $35 a night. But when we arrived, it was very clear that we were quite actually the only guests in the hotel. Great. Good to see you. The hotel ended up being surprisingly nice, especially for the price. It was a little odd, however, to have a fully functioning pool, beach area, and hotel restaurant all to ourselves. But it also meant that we got some great local knowledge and advice for the next part of our trip.
This is, for us, is paradise here in Albania.
A drive down the Albanian coast, which would end up being the most spectacular road we've ever been on. And I know we've said this a lot through this trip, and I don't think the video does it justice, but you just gotta trust us. This road, if you ever get the chance to drive along the coast of southern Albania, is so worth it.
This is what 30 euros a night buys you in Albania.